Kia ora everyone, my name's Zach, I love rugby. Welcome back to Hakatime Rugby. The team lists are in for this quarterfinal as well. I just did a massive preview of the All Blacks versus Ireland match, and now I'm equally as pumped and excited for this match as well. It's the hosts against the current World Cup holders, and just some really interesting talking points as we look forward to this match. First thing, Antoine Dupont is in. We've seen him training. Miraculously, he's passed all medical checks in the lead up to this game. And look, they went through a process. So independent doctors assessed him. They've given him every chance at different checkpoints and milestones in terms of proving his fitness. But he does have a metal plate in his face, right? So you would expect, if player welfare is an issue, that they've taken the right precautions. I'm not going to question whether or not they have or they haven't. We know that they went through a detailed process here, so let's just assume that he's good to go, and I'm glad for it. We want to see the best players playing. This World Cup has been far too plagued by injuries, unfortunately, so seeing him there is a good thing. On the other side, 5-3 split for the Springboks. Now, we have seen some vast innovations from the Springboks this year, whether it be traffic light system. We know about the 6-2 split. We've seen the 7-1 split. There was talk about it going to the 8-0 split. It's a 5-3. Very interesting. I actually think we know about the bomb squad format. I actually think when I look at the makeup of the squad for the Springboks, particularly the bench, there's actually two separate bomb squads there, is the way I see it. It's going to be a fascinating view on how this game is played, because when I look at the Springbok squad, how they've evolved, how they've become a team that went from, very much focusing in on set piece, territory management, kicking the ball, and I know a lot of you guys got very frustrated. In the lead up the last 12 months, we've seen a lot more variation, a lot more attacking style. So the inclusion of Damian Willemse, the inclusion of Mani Lebok, offers a lot more in terms of attacking, exploiting the edges, and obviously trying to, really sort of get an advantage by using width in attack. And it was something that sort of evolved in the Springboks game, I think, in this World Cup cycle, that's super exciting to watch. There's a lot more variation. Those traditional strengths are there in terms of set piece dominance and dominating go forward from the forwards and the physical perspective, but mixed now with electric backs that can score tries on the wings, create with no-look kicks. It's a really exciting makeup. But what I think is really interesting here is when you look at the bench, specifically Faf, who we know has great alignment with Andre Pollard. We've seen that over the years. And Willie Leroux as well, who slots expertly into the makeup of that squad. It shows that there are two styles that will be played here by the Springboks. And this is where, I just sort of give Rassie Erasmus a round of applause, because we constantly see this innovation from him. And, we used to seeing the Springboks release their team names a lot earlier. They withheld this one. I was wondering why. And now I can see it, because this is a slightly different strategy. This is two Springbok teams in one in terms of the playing strategy. So the way I'm expecting that this will play out, and why we see Reinek, Lebok, and Willemse there as the starting, is because we have seen that style that's been played the last 12 months around, attack first options, getting to the wings, kick passes, using Damian Willemse with his great ball carrying ability and playmaking ability as well. These give real options to attack throughout the game. And France is a team that will allow you opportunities to attack, right? So great way to start the game. But what we see in the close is the likes of Faf de Klerk, Andre Pollard, and Willie Leroux coming on to change the picture that's presented to France and to focus more on closing out and strangling the game to a success. To me, this is the culmination of what Rassie Erasmus has been talking about where he wants to take Springbok rugby. We've seen the 2019 version, which really strangled teams in one territory, one set piece. That team is here. We've seen the new version, which is exploiting the edges and the wings and really attacking with flair. That team is here. And one team is starting, the second team is closing. It's the best of both worlds. And to me, this is the culmination of the Rassie Erasmus master plan. Will it be effective against the hosts and in an environment and a cauldron that is going to be difficult to manage? We have really seen the crowd play an impact on games in two respects. One, teams that are not fully well drilled, whether it be line out, struggling to hear the calls, that can lead to disruption. But we've also seen it influence the ref a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And France have their own concerns here. We look at Malvaka coming in, obviously as starting there at hooker. We know the injury cloud for Antoine Dupont. There's a number of issues here in terms of their selections. And France have proven, well, certainly against the All Blacks, that they can play well on the back foot, which they're going to have to, because the Springboks have shown against Ireland, against every team they've played so far, they'll win set piece, and then obviously able to get go forward and stop momentum like they did against Ireland. So those opportunities will be there for the Springboks, and it's an area that France will really have to focus on, the set piece. I expect the Springboks to get real ascendancy there. Because we've seen the All Blacks were able to get some success there. We've seen the Wallabies were able to get some success against France in the lead up to the World Cup there. So there's a couple of opportunities here that this Springbok squad can really, really exploit. I think set piece, scrum liner is one. I think go forward. But what I've been so impressed with by France in general is that with the inclusion of Antoine Dupont, Jalibert, Ramos, and Pinot, they're players that can really play off the back foot, so they don't necessarily need to win front foot ball in order to be effective. And we know Antoine Dupont has every single trick in the book, right? So you might rush out to try and slow him down in terms of your defensive structures. He'll find a way to crossfield kick and then be impactful that way. He'll kick over the top, over the back. He'll throw double cutout passes. He is rightfully the best player in the world in my eyes. And he will be extremely impactful on this game. But will it be enough, right? So we know that this French team can play off the back foot. But what I see here from a Springbok squad is real ability to vary and change the picture that you're presenting to France. So in terms of pure tools, right, Antoine Dupont has the most tools at his disposal. But to me, the Springboks as a collective have more tools at their disposal. So it's going to be a really interesting makeup. You're probably hearing from the way that I'm sort of positioning this that I expect. My prediction is that the Springboks will win this game, just because I think we're seeing the realization of Rassie Erasmus's vision. His master plan is being rolled out. There's so much variation in here in the squad. There's essentially two squads with two playing styles. That one that will come out and really try and put points on you while dominating the physical exchanges, and the other that'll strangle the game, manage territory, and take points. Really importantly, with Andre Pollard there, we know the limitations that we've seen of Mani Lebok. Will take points when they're on offer. That's my view on how this game is going to play out, guys. So I'm expecting a Springboks win. It is still going to be a difficult thing, given its hometown advantage, France. And as I say, they've got one of the best players in the world in Antoine Dupont. And they have their own strengths. Obviously, French flair. They can make tries out of nothing, as well as they've got some great operators there, the likes of Charles Olivon and Gregory Aldrit as well. Congratulations, Duane Vermeulen's inclusion here as well. I think, seeing him there, I can tell a lot of Springbok fans are happy with that. I thought it was an interesting inclusion. I thought they might have gone with with someone else there, but that's fine. Duane Vermeulen, there's a number of players there that will just not let you down. We haven't spoken about the impact of the centre pairings, but I do think the defensive nature of Damien Dialende and Jesse Creel is going to be really important in this one, because they're up against Jonathan Danty, who great line breaker, and Gael Ficou, great defensive organiser. But I do think Damien Dialende has been a little bit underrated in this World Cup. Some of his stats are equal, on par, or exceed even Bunty Aki's stats. So he's kind of flying under the radar. I can certainly see that this is the top choice centre pairing. Whether or not Arm gets a run later, we'll see if the Springboks are to progress. But yeah, I just thought there was interesting makeup there in the centres as well. And certainly the Springboks have enough there to really compete with what is a fantastic centre pairing in Danty and Ficou, I should say. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've given you my thoughts here. Super excited for this game, as I am with all of the quarterfinals, and I hope you guys enjoy it. See you soon. Bye.